Hello, Grudge Bearers, and welcome back to the Malakai Makaisson Total War Warhammer 3 campaign. We have a big swath of land spanning a gigantic portion of the old world, the Chaos Waste, and all the way down into... You know what? I can't remember what this place is called anymore down there. You'll have to remind me what the Southland... I don't remember what they call it. Lustria, I know, Nagaron, like, you guys have to tell me. And then you got, like, the Darklands and... Cathay, like, yeah, you'll have to help me with some of the naming. I don't really remember what we call this area down here. I know there was Khemri where the Tomb Kings are at, but I want to say that this continent had a different name. And in any case, let's jump right in. It is a Vermintide. So I gave you like 2 episodes where I was talking about how much I hate the Skaven, and of course nothing has changed in that realm. I still hate the Skaven, but the game, in response to my hate of the Skaven, says, well, guess what, Air? You can have a gigantic pile of Skaven for your troubles. So I appreciate the game delivering a Vermintide when I least want it. But you know what? That'll make things fun. It'll basically make me have to just shut up and deal with it, which is what we're going to do. Let's take a look. Grombrindle still has his moves for this turn. We did make, I think, a temporary peace with the big bellies, the ogres, and they are going to be kind of quiet, and they are probably excited because I think they're going to get some action in the upcoming DLC, which they probably need. I think the DLC, what they say it was going to be greenskins, ogres, and corn, if I remember right. Greenskins, ogres, corn. Maybe, I think I have that right. Yeah, I don't know. CA announced it. Maybe I get the details wrong. If I did, feel free to correct me. I think that's what it is. Corn obviously needs some work. All of the demon factions do. They don't have near the breadth that the other factions do because they came in Warhammer 3 versus the others coming in the earlier games and having had more time to have been built up properly. So not a big surprise that they don't have. I am honestly, like, I don't understand the purpose of these vampires, and I'm very tempted to just ignore them. I think I'll put up with them for just a little while longer. I'm going to be moving more Clan Eshin. I'm trying to remember where Clan Eshin starts these days. I want to say they were in the Darklands, which concerns me that Clan Eshin might be out here somewhere. I need to move this army south in any case. I think we've got to get prepared to have to face off. I said I have no idea what to do about these guys. I feel like I'm just wasting an army up here. There was some talk, too, about dwarf artillery. Some people said they nerfed grape shot for dwarf cannons. I did not know that. I haven't used grape shot a ton in the last couple because when we're fighting the Skaven, grape shot becomes a lot less useful because they can shoot you from farther away than the grape shot can be effectively employed. And then that does certainly have me wondering if organ guns might be a decent option. I think they would be roughly the same range as a Jezzail. But the problem with the Skaven, like a Jezzail or something, is if it closes the distance to your artillery, unless you have something kind of like the Amethyst rocket battery that kind of one-shots those units, I feel like that the Skaven are going to have the advantage there because it won't take too many shots for them to start having some really good effect on target. Let's see. I kind of expected to see Throt come back, but if I remember right, in fact, let's go take a look at something real quick. The objectives, victory conditions, ultimate. So Eshin, Moors, and Scryer is the one that came back. And oh, Eshin is in Cathay now, that's right. And boy, they've already kind of exploded there. And Cathay does not look like it's doing well. It looks like Balthasar and the Iron Dragon did okay. I don't have eyes on Miao Ying. She might be gone. So Eshin has to be defeated. They are way over in Cathay. I know there's a sea lane that travels over there, but I think it goes back and forth between like Nagaron and there. So if we wanted to go help in Cathay, I think we kind of just have to travel through the Darklands here to go help them eventually. It'd be fun to achieve an ultimate victory here, but I'm going to start off with the objective of knocking out Clan Moors and Clan Scryer. That's a more realistic objective because they're near me where I can do that in a reasonable number of turns. But that also means that this army is essentially out of position and unneeded here. We are one settlement away from unlocking, and this was one of my campaign objectives personally that I set, was to finish the Retake the Realms, which means that we just need to be in control of Blightwater. And the only thing we have to do right here is just take a settlement away from Tzeentch. However, there's kind of a few Skaven, maybe a few thousand Skaven between us and that objective. So that is something we have to consider. I might take Ungrim over here to assist the other army and see if we can knock out. In fact, I might start using, I don't know how effective it'll be, but let's just see if we can use our agents to kind of torment the Skaven. All right, he failed, I believe, but we did level up. Let's start throwing points into like specialist and the other ones, and let's just see if we can have a good time at the expense of the Skaven there. And if we can get that dwarf underway working, I can use it to move my army all the way down to like Karak Azgal and help with the battle against Clan Moors as well. So we really need to take this settlement away from Tzeentch. I think with some degree of haste. I do have another army that's going to be ready in 4 turns at the Silver Road as well. So we've got some options coming up soon. As far as this army goes, I think we should just probably try and finish recruiting it. Man, I wish I could train Thunder Barges. I'd love to have another Thunder Barge in this army, but we haven't hit level 5 here with growth, but we're going to hit it, it looks like, on this turn in, but it's going to take quite a long time to build up that. We do have access to gyro bombers, though. Oh, I've already got 3 of them here. That's cool, because we have a mission, actually, to get kills with gyro bombers right now. Cannons, what else would make this? I mean, this army is not perfectly suited to fighting Skaven, but it certainly has some potential. Trying to think, a Thane would probably be useful in this army, but I have that Slayer hero down there that we could throw in this army too if they come down there, so I won't really worry about it. We just can't recruit a whole lot of different stuff in our current position. We could get a Thane if we do that, but I think we're okay. Let's just leave that army there for a turn. I don't really have a whole lot that I can do with it at the moment because our global recruitment queue is chock full. Let's see here. So we got a Rune Lord. We finished Thunderer. Probably want to do Tactician to increase our artillery damage as much as we can. We're pretty reliant. Well, actually, he only has the 1 artillery piece. We should probably replace those Iron Drakes with some cannons if we can afford to. But again, I don't have the facilities here to accomplish that, and it would take me multiple turns before we do. Yeah. This army is in a position to go hit that settlement, actually. And then I want to say we should have Thorak Ironbrow back soon. He's no longer wounded. I think we can bring him in now. Let's see, where's Thorak? Right here. Sweet! We now have every dwarf legendary lord. And remember that Thorak gets buffs to Quarrelers. So we should be able to get some insanely powerful Quarrelers going on here. So like if I get this Proven Tools, that gives Frenzy to the Lord's Army, melee attack, defense, greater locus of power. Okay, definitely some good stuff. Let's invoke melee attack for the Lord's Army, physical resistance and armor for the Lord's Army. Casualty replen and vigor loss reduction. That is a pretty cool one too. I like the melee attack because dwarves typically had low melee attack. Now they did patch that a little bit. Armor seems a little bit pointless because dwarves' armor is already so high. Physical resistance is cool. I'm thinking either Runes of Alea, which army replen is always very nice, and vigor loss reduction is never a bad thing either because they're going to fight more effectively. I think I'm going to go with that one. And then we can get all of them, apparently. Never mind. So I was thinking it was like a one or the other type of choice, which that is most assuredly not. We're going to get Thunderer here. And I'm going to hit Tactician. And then I'm going to get Dawi Firepower and Morgrim's Favored. So that'll be a max increase to our artillery and our crossbows. The like proven tools here. So see, Grudge Throwers get the anti-large homing projectiles. And then we get 50% more armor piercing damage for Quarrelers. So that's going to be a huge, huge buff. We get the passive ability Rune of Spite. I think that would be a good one. oath gold from local buildings is kind of cool, but not going to be a huge one for me. Let's get this runic production lines. That one's going to give the army frenzy and a big charge bonus, which charge bonus not usually a big deal for dwarves, but I think in this case it is. And then let's go with Wallmaster, Iron Wield. We're going to want Inspirational Leader. There we go. I think those are the blue skill points I want. And then we definitely want Rune of Slowness. Damping is usually good. Wrath and Ruin is good. Forge Fire. Strike the Runes is certainly nice to have. However, I want to put a couple of points into Mentor first. And then since Thorak's going to stand out under potentially a lot of missile fire, I'm going to go with Rune of Grimnir. I'm going to do this Greater Locus of Power. And then Hearth and Home gives immune to Psych to everybody in range, so that's a good one. And missile resistance to enemy in the local province. This is a good one as well. And the Rune of... Alright, so Sundered Armor. Duration 55, so it gives an ally armor piercing. I think the Rune of Negation would be a good one for trying to keep Thorak alive if he ends up in a bad position. So I think that's going to be a much better setup for Thorak, at least for the moment. And if I go and look at our Quarrelers with great weapons, they have 31 missile damage, which I could swear that was higher in our previous campaigns. Maybe they nerfed it, or maybe they changed the technology upgrades that went with it as well. But I want to say that we had that all the way up to like 50 or 60 previously. So, but it also could be because these units haven't leveled up all the way. That could certainly be playing a role. We're going to get a couple more though, but that is massive missile damage. And the fact that they can fire up in an arc, and they're also pretty decent in a melee scrap, you know, at the end of everything, should be good. So this army will be fairly potent, I think, all things considered. It's going to need one more unit though. And I'm trying to think here. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heavy infantry. We don't really have anything to guard our flanks here. And that seems to be somewhat intentional, almost like that I'm going to let the Quarrelers with great weapons do it. They won't be amazing, but they do have 100 armor and some AP damage, and they have a charge bonus of 51. So if we charge them, they'll actually do a decent bit of damage on a charge. I might just grab one more of those, and I'll use my Quarreler great weapon as a backline, and we'll just see how it works. I don't know whether that'll go very well, but you know what? Oh, look, we got our Slayer army. Too bad it's on the complete wrong side of the world. That's honestly a little bit frustrating. That is too bad. That stinks. That really stinks. I wish that underway was working, but even if it was, I'm nowhere near it. We could use it to attack the Druki if I hurry. It's going to be around for 15 turns. It can't do any replenishing during that time, but maybe we run an attack against the Druki. That was right at the same time, though. I was removing Thorgrim to come back and move through the underground. I don't know. Like, I think I'm just going to take the fight to the Druki. Let's just do that. Because I have those other armies to help me with the Skaven down there. We should be good. I don't necessarily need to move more armies in to take care of the Skaven. All right, we got Deadeye. I'm going to do the break open the cask on our engineers. You always want to be able to restock ammunition, especially if you're reliant on artillery.
My anger burns bright.
And I like triangulation to increase the missile. Oh, that's what we need in Thorak's army. We need to make sure that Thorak has an engineer in his army. And he does. So he's got the master engineer, and that triangulation is going to be where we get the extra strength that I'm looking for, actually, I think. So we'll need to level up that master engineer in order to get the best out of that situation. Let's see. Did I leave buildings open for Oath Gold? I'm going to go check that. I'm going to wait till my next turn to go do a little bit of forging. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I want to have over 3,000, so I can go ahead and make think that would allow me to make 3 each of the different tankards that we're trying to get on all of our single entity characters. So I am going to be checking for empty slots that were obviously intended for Oath Gold, though. That is a go get right there that I want. I want that gold mine. Yeah, I want that gold mine as well. This could be torn down and turned into Oath Gold. This looks like a good spot for some more Oath Gold. We are running lower on funds now. We need defenses at Frozen Landing. We don't have to worry about the Skaven there now, which is good, but we definitely would want those defenses at the... This is the Northern Waste. Let's go ahead and drop some Oath Gold there. And we are short of money to do any more building. Let's go ahead and end our turn. And should be good. I'll see you on the other side of this one. All right, there was nothing of interest that happened on the turn-in. No one begging for peace. No one declaring war. No Skaven going after my settlements. At least I say that. I haven't looked here. Our Dragon Slayer got wounded. No big surprise. He was surrounded by agents, but it actually looks like out of all things that got him, I think it was Slide a Miser here. And we had some other successes. Oldest is taking attrition. You know, just some kind of more minor messages. All right, this army has been made as ready for battle as it's going to be against the Skaven. I don't see more than one Skaven army at Valea's Sorrow, so I'm going to push in there. We'll kind of move up slowly. See what, if anything's revealed. Nothing. The Skaven are pretty great at hiding from you and causing issues. And indeed, there is a Skaven hiding here, none other than Tretch the Craven Tail. And he does indeed have a Craven Tail. More like a Skaven tail, I guess. I think this is an actual, like... I can't tell if this is a minor settlement battle or if it's walls. I don't think it's walls. But the good thing about this deployment is, like, if I deploy over here, for instance, we can just use our cannons to blast in to the Skaven position. And the same, we can use our crossbows to help add to that as well. And then, of course, we have our magic guys here too, our ghost. So this should be a pretty easy win, I think. Let's go give it a shot. We do want to be aware of it gets zap and the plague claw catapults as well. All right, it is time to kill some Skaven. In a move that shocks me with its intelligence, the Skaven did not deploy a unit right here in the gap, which is a little bit frustrating for the way that I want to run my plans. But like I said, that's actually a pretty intelligent move for them, because they would have just gotten raked with cannon fire. My cannons, though, still have an angle, and I'm going to let them do their work. Now, remember, we don't have reloads in this army, so our ammunition needs to be used. Oh, there is a unit there. That would be a gutter runner. I'm going to see if I can put it in the gutter with some point-blank volleys from my quarrelers. And we did indeed gutter those runners. So there we go. They are already skitter fleeing off the battlefield. They probably picked up that trait from their leader, who is the king of skitter fleeing. Tretch is quite the coward. Let's see here. I'm gonna, again, kind of let my cannons fire away. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just take my leaders in here and challenge the enemy. That way I can blob them up. I haven't seen any summons yet. If I do, I would expect them to be summoned. Oh, they're building a tower over here, so we'll keep an eye on that. It's got 50 seconds before it's completed. We'll kind of force the fight over. Okay, here comes the enemy. That's good, though. When they become visible like that, I can just douse them in Quarreler fire. Quarrelers are very effective against these low armor units that the Skaven field, and you get a good line of sight with the Quarrelers that you don't with gun units. I think if you were fighting against more armor, more single entities, stuff like that, the Thunderers would make a whole lot more sense. But Quarrelers are very effective, especially with the right upgrades. You get an engineer in the army, and you get the right upgrades going, and you're going to have some extremely powerful Quarrelers. And honestly, eventually, armor may not even matter that much because of how much damage. This Poison Wind Globadier is after us now. I'm going to just go ahead and use this opportunity to destroy it with my Quarrelers. And let's head up over here. I do want my Oh, these guys are kind of wasting some troll hammers. Take it easy on the ammo. Oh, crap. The tower's up. I'm going to use my cannons to down that tower real quick. I got to move my gyros out of the way before they get shot down, like seems like happens on every episode to me now. I shoot down my own gyrocopters in a tremendously stupid fashion. I'm going to move these guys up. That tower should go down after just a few shots. Cannons are very effective against towers. Yep. Okay, there we go. What else do I want to do? Okay, they got another tower being built. I'm going to actually move these cannons into a different position right over here. They'll be in a better position, I think, to fight against that tower. I'm going to move towards the capture point and challenge the Skaven with a capture here. I haven't brought any infantry reinforcements. I don't think I need it, to be honest. I will move them up eventually, so I'll go ahead and get them positioned. I'm going to leave my Slayers out here to protect my artillery pieces. And then my gyros really need to be focused against stuff like these, the Dwarf Thing Menace. We'll go get those. And I want my leaders to go ahead and get on the capture point. I don't remember exactly how the capture weight works. I'm not sure if we'll be able to out-capture all of these non-single entity Skaven troops here, but we'll give it a shot. We need to keep an eye out, though, for magic damage coming towards us, which at the moment, I don't see any magic damage. I'm going to bring these copters around to get a slightly better angle. And then our Quarler Great Weapons need to move up for a better angle, or a better shot as well. And then our cannons can go ahead and down that next tower. We are actually gaining capture weight right now, which I'm a little bit surprised. If I'm being honest, I wouldn't have expected to gain that much capture weight. The heal, oh yeah, look at that. The Dwarf Thing Menace got annihilated immediately. I'm going to actually move these gyros over the top of this infantry blob, and I'm going to drop my bombs. We'll help get rid of this infantry blob in a bigger hurry. There we go. All right, we actually made the capture. I'm going to move the copters back for a minute because there is a lot of Skaven missile fire in the vicinity. Skaven are going to really struggle to stand up to these ethereal heroes because they're going to terrorize. And the Skaven should be pretty prone to terror outs with a lot of their units, if not almost all of their units. All right, I'm going to move up our Whirler Great Weapons again, and we'll try and target the Skaven missiles. Our cannons are probably going to struggle to get line of sight on pretty much everything because of the way this map is built, so that kind of stinks. But, you know, it's not unexpected, I don't think. All right, Skaven turned around to fight again. That's, again, going to be pretty typical for Skaven. We're fighting, we're not fighting, we're fighting, we're not fighting. You know, like they struggle to maintain their leadership on the battlefield. I'm going to start popping off some abilities. We got Tormentor Sword. I forgot I have the Rune of Wrath and Ruin. I haven't had a lot of runesmiths in this campaign because I've been mostly focused on other stuff, but for your eyes, we'll roast some Skaven there for your visual enjoyment, which, if you're like me, you enjoy because Skaven infuriate you. All right, I would say that that was a pretty successful Wrath and Ruin. We picked up a lot of kills on our leader. Some of our guys have got, well, look at this Thane. He's already got 100 kills just fighting on his own. That's incredible. And all of these characters will be healing. So the Skaven, like I said, are going to struggle mightily to counter this. And if I take a look at the casualties, we've already inflicted almost 1,000 casualties on Tretch's forces. He has a ton of troops. Most of them are garbage tier, though, so I'm not super worried about it. I'm going to actually go ahead and move my Longbeard Great Weapons in just to support. I'm only going to have so much ammo with my Grudge Bearers, but or Grudge Settler crossbows. But check it out. These guys, they have the anti-infantry bonus in their damage profile, so I might actually throw them into melee and see how they do, because they're armor-piercing anti-infantry. They don't have very good attack stats, but I think that they will actually be able to get some work done. But we want to spend their ammunition first. And that is first and foremost what I'm doing. Skaven are blobbed up on me again. We'll just keep an eye on our Runesmith. It's a very, like, Runesmiths have an incredibly long cooldown. I guess this is kind of necessary because you're not actually pulling from a Winds of Magic. But it is a little bit frustrating in some ways too, because it takes so very long to be able to use the rune magic. All right, our Longbeards with great weapons are making their way forward. They're not going to be amazing. Well, I mean, they'll be good against the Skaven because of how much armor and defense they have. But, I mean, and they did get buffed a little bit, as most Dwarf Infantry did in this patch. But, you know, Dwarf Infantry has never been just downright amazing. Doomseekers, of course, can get some work done. I heard one of my cannons fire right there for a second, but now they're not firing again. If I leave my Longbeards out of that fight, it's actually kind of good, because then whenever my cannon can take a shot at will, and I'm about to be able to drop another Wrath and Ruin, and we're going to certainly target the Storm Vermin and the Ishka's Triads here. I'm going to plop that right on top of that expensive infantry blob there. Launch them. Oh yeah, really good damage against their stuff there, so really good damage. Got another Tormentor Sword, which will make it where the enemy can't move inside of that radius. Our leaders are just having an absolute field day right here. The Skaven can't do anything. I've got almost 200 kills with my Lords, 300 with the Runesmith. I got 200 on one of the Thanes and almost 200 on another, so our leaders are just, like, absolutely owning. Oh boy, there's artillery headed our way. That is actually not good, because I don't really have a great answer to that artillery, and it could do some huge damage to my Longbeards or to my Quarrelers. I'm gonna make a beeline up here because the Skaven have kind of left this open, and I'll go see if we can silence that artillery. And the Skaven are struggling mightily to do anything against my heroes. 90 seconds till we can pop off again with the Runesmith. I'm going to go ahead and use this attack buff, though. Might as well. Our cannon is getting occasional shots in. One of them. Oh, yeah. The Plague Claw Catapult now sees what's happening, and they realize that they've done messed up. And Tretch is now down 2,000 rats, mostly at the hands of just my leaders here, who are going to have very sore arms tomorrow when they wake up from all the Skaven that have been slaughtered. It gets Zap is right there too. Awesome. Okay, I mean, this is just going to be a slog. That's really all there is to it. We're about 30 seconds away from the next all right, the Skaven are coming, trying to protect their artillery. I'm gonna go ahead and move these Quarreler great weapons up closer. They've done a really good job in this battle. Like, they're not gonna have anywhere near the kills that our leaders have, but they've done well. And our Longbeards should do just fine. Again, most of this Skaven stuff is not great at piercing armor, and it's fairly low armor itself, which means the Longbeards with their high defense should do quite well in this fight. All right, we do have another Wrath and Ruin. I could save it to see whether we end up in another large blob. If I use it over here, I have to use it carefully so as to not damage my own troops. I think that ought to be safe. There we go. That was a big hit. All right, we fought our way through. Let's move on towards Tretch. He's standing in the key building area. It gets Zap. Where did it go? Oh gosh, there's Rattling Guns there. I'm gonna push the Rattling Guns. I don't know where it gets Zap got off to. Oh gosh, our cannons are firing there too, so I'm gonna pull my own infantry back a little so as to avoid the friendly fire. Oh, look at that, we caught the Rattling Gun. There's It gets Zap. it was trying to get an angle to fire at us, and of course couldn't really, so it ends up wandering into us, where it's now going to be attacked. I should be able to, yep, pop that. I can keep the enemy from running away from me. We are settling many grudges right here. Awesome. All right, our quarrelers with great weapons. 2 of them have already run out of ammunition. I'm kind of curious to bring them forward and see what kind of damage they can do. Skaven are in another blob up here against us. And that blob is not going to treat them very well. 322 kills on my Lord, 414 on the Runesmith, 362 on King Lun Ironhammer, and 252 on Halkenhoff Stonebeard. So the Skaven are getting mercilessly slaughtered. My Longbeards are indeed doing well in the combat, as I kind of expected them to. I might bring a couple of these units over here to start trying to bash through. All right, Tretch came up to fight. That's probably mostly just because he can't flee. He does have magic attacks, so he will be dangerous to our ethereal units, but he is outnumbered 4-1. And despite being a somewhat tough character, he's got no chance in this particular fight. He's gonna skid or flee for sure. We do have frostbite attacks though, so he's quick though, even with the frostbite. Look at his speed, still all the way up at 61. And that's despite the fact that I think we've landed some frostbite attacks on him. So again, he is a very, very rapid character. I can Tormentor Sword him though, and he is gonna be stuck. There he goes. All right, we're gonna murder Tretch. He would have not escaped anyway because we caught him in a settlement, but always feels good to punish him on the battle map the way that he deserves to be punished. Don't let him escape. Smack him in the back. Kill him. Murder his rat butt. This is typical Skaven here, just running for his life. There we go. Is he down? Yeah, he's down. All right, no more Tretch. All right, folks, I want to point something out from that battle. We had a 403-1 kill ratio. When I was looking at the end screen, I added up their losses and my losses. So 403 Skaven died for every 1 Dawi who dropped on the battlefield. Again, just let that sink in for a minute, you know? Like, it's pretty amazing. Leadership, I guess, would probably be best on one of the crossbows. The other ones aren't likely to rout. And then Speed and Strider, again, would go good on one of the Slayers. There we go. So big victory at Valea's Sorrow and a defeat for Clan Wars. I don't know if I'd call it a crushing defeat because, let's be honest, it was just Tretch. And oh my mortar. Holy cow, this army. 4 rattling guns, 5 mortars, 4 artillery pieces. That thing is going to be an ever-loving pain in the butt of an army to fight. Yikes. This one's got 5 mutant rat ogres. Tons of storm vermin. Okay, they got a lot of armies moving towards me, and we have some potential trouble to deal with. I'm going to have to replenish Grombrindle a little before we get into more fights. I'm going to kind of move up here.
I must fulfill my Slayer oath.
I need more armies over here to help. I do have some to the south that are on the way to reinforce. This is not an ideal army for fighting Skaven, but it is an army for fighting Skaven. We should be able to handle our own there. I'm going to try and get to Kradtommen, or however you say that. We have 1 more turn of recruiting for Thorek. And I'm going to do the break open the cask here. All right.
It is time.
I think since I have the armies coming from the south, I'm going to move these 2 armies together to see if we can punch Crooked Moon in the face right here and try and put them out of their misery because they have kind of been a thorn in our side for a while. So I'm going to keep an eye on them. This is our wasted waiting on the vampires army, unfortunately. And then we have this army out trying to mop up Wurzag and his faction. Let's go ahead and continue that effort. Again, the sooner they're out of the way, the sooner we can focus on the Skaven. Looks like Grom is there. I won't lose any units to the auto-resolve. So I think I'm going to just use the auto-resolve. Let's put that on like a thunder or something. Yeah, I'm just going to auto-resolve this. Be done with it. No need sitting around in a siege. We'll be able to replenish relatively quick. I don't think they have armies near enough by to punish me for that. So we got into Ekrund. And we can tear that down, tear that down. We're going to really, again, ramp up the Oath Gold production everywhere that it's possible. Some of these places we are going to struggle to ramp up the Oath Gold production. Let's go ahead and do some upgrades, see if we can kind of secure some of these provinces, make them harder for an enemy to come in and push us around. Let's take a look at our Lord here. I get Tactician. I'm gonna buff those units as best I can. I wish that this Lord had its skill points done a little bit better. We picked it up from the AI, but it's not going to be the end of the world. I don't really think we're going to feel that too much. Let's take a look at all of our other upgrades. This is probably not a bad one for the Slayer hero. Rune of Grimnir is a good bet. We're fighting a lot of Skaven.
Time for a reckoning.
Again, just looking for the most impactful skill points, and we're kind of out of them with some of these.
It is time.
But that just makes it quicker. Grudges to settle. Campaign movement range. Casualty replen. Again, never a bad thing. Just kind of get some of those special skill points. Get Revered Thane. I wish I could see easily what was in their army.
Let us begin.
All right. Runesmith. Let's go with Mentor, actually. We can spread that love around. Okay, so we took care of the skill points for now. Belagar has movement points. He's going to be kind of alone in the fight against Clan Scryer, which honestly is going to be pretty dangerous. If anybody could use reinforcements through the underway, it would probably be Belagar. And we would be able to move this army over there to help him if we could take Krantamen, or however you say that settlement. That would put us in a pretty solid position. Let's go ahead and go into our forge real quick. I want to do some more forging. Let's go to the Old Guards tankard. We're going to spam out, I think, 4 of those. I wish they would let you create more than one at a time. That would be a nice little quality of life thing here where we could set the quantity to like 4 and then not have to see this message every time we do this. There's 3 Old Guard tankards. Let's make it 4 Old Guard tankards. And you all saw in that battle against the Skaven just how powerful this combination is. And that is precisely the point. I'm making my leaders extraordinarily difficult to kill for an enemy. And that is really good against the Skaven. The Skaven are, you know, they're pretty cheap in combat. They will get all kinds of crappy routes against you that they probably shouldn't. Where they struggle, though, is they probably won't route your leaders. And they are not that good at killing those leaders, especially whenever you can tank up on this stuff. Now, that could, of course, be different if you get swamped by mutant rat ogres or something else that is very capable of fighting those single entity kind of fights. I think we should take a look at this army here because they're about to end up in it against the Skaven. Our Lord is decked out quite well here. This is Morgrim's Stormbreaker, and I believe this is his... Yes, there's Morgrim Stormbreaker. So Finny Ironbrow, he actually has an armor, which is pretty impressive. We haven't forged up any armors at the moment. There is a gold sigil sword here. Didn't see any other weapons open along the way. Let's just go ahead and apply that. There's a Shrieking Blade there. We can give the other one if he needs it. And then we'll just grab an Old Guard tankard. And the Iron Warden's tankard is going to be down just a little further. So there's our Iron Warden tankard. And then we're going to move to the next one. He needs everything, which I don't have any armor to give him, unfortunately. Not even a poopy one. And I do have the Shrieking Blade or a Warrior Bane. Warrior Bane's kind of cool, but Shrieking Blade's probably better because of the terror. Old Guard tankard. And Iron Warden tankard. It's going to be down farther. We could actually use those to see if we get an armor. We didn't, unfortunately. All right. Let's go ahead. These are useless. Let's fuse those and see what we get. Armor, please. We've got the brass cleaver. That's not too bad. Let's grab that Iron Warden tankard. What is the brass? I think the brass cleaver is a reduction in attack on enemies. I like the Shrieking Blade still, though, and I'll just use the other one on someone else. So that's 2 characters. We can give 2 more characters the ability to replenish. So this army can now safely replenish its leaders in a fight. This army can do the same, I'm pretty certain. Yep, Old Guard, Iron Warden. Let's go double check that real quick.
Yes.
Old Guard, Iron Warden, Old Guard, Iron Warden. Oh, we don't have the Old Guard tankard on this guy. Let's drop it on him. Let's see. Old Guard tankard. All right, there we go. So replenishment will be available and plentiful for those troops. Let's take a look at these armies that are moving in towards the Skaven here as well. I mean, imagine Ungrim replenishing. It does have the Dragon Cloak. That's actually kind of good because we used an Old Guard tankard and didn't use an Iron Warden tankard on the other one, so it'll kind of even things out if I come down here and use that Iron Warden tankard. So now we will be able to heal the liquid fortification. So whenever we're higher than Wavering, Ungrim will heal. He won't heal as fast as some of the others, but I mean, a healing Ungrim is a dangerous foe indeed. And then his characters need some help here too. So I do believe we got a weapon or 2. Yeah, we got the brass cleaver, so let's apply that. We got an Old Guard's tankard. And we got an Iron Warden tankard still. And I believe that's going to be the last ones we have from that round of forging. So there we go. We'll need to do some more forging, but we're at least trying to get in here and apply some of that love to all those characters. I'm trying to think whether we still have lords. We haven't moved this lord. I'm kind of waiting. We should go interact with that. Let's go underground and go interact with that. What can we recruit locally, by the way? Oh, we can't recruit in this stance. We can finally upgrade there. Let's upgrade to the highest tier settlement. Our
Demon
Slayer army. Move it up here. And then we're going to bring Thorgrim back over this way. And let me check my building stuff again. Kind of looking for the easy Oath Gold. Like I said, I've been stacking Oath Gold to a ludicrous degree. I think that's got to be our effort here. Oh, there's a building here that... Oh, we want that. Let's make this upgrade so we can build it. Speaking of obsidian, we have a little bit there. Valea's Sorrow, we should probably build that, tear that down. Karak 8 Peaks is building up defenses. We can now put Oath Gold into there as well. Northern Waste. Again, that's just another Oath Gold slot for me. There we go. All right. And we have commandments available at Valea's Sorrow, Karak 8 Peaks. We're going to do Control Corruption. Actually, yeah, we'll do a Control Corruption here. Actually, we don't need that. Yeah, we don't need that. Let's just do this one. More commandments available. The Western Badlands. Control and Corruption does not seem like it's needed there either. So let's do the Growth and Trade and end our turn. All right, folks. We made it through that turn end. I'm approaching the Beastman army. I'm going to try and go underground and see whether we can get an interception on him. We shall see. Hang on. What received a plague? Settlement besieged. Valeasar. Oh, the Skaven came for some revenge. It's an interesting...
What?
Is this the army? Yeah, it's the army we killed Tretch with. I was seeing a different army there for a minute. It was still Oldest's army. It's like, that's not the right army. So the Skaven came for revenge. We got our work cut out for us. 440 range versus 430 range, 400 range. We have them slightly outranged. We can definitely deal with their brood horrors because we have our trollhammer copters, but we have some very dangerous targets to deal with from range and a lot of them. So this could be an interesting one. If I use my leaders though as bait for that artillery, maybe we can pull this off. Let's go see what we can do. All right, folks, I've kind of got a plan going on here. I deployed my cannons where they'd be in range of that Plague Claw catapult to begin the battle. I'm going to open fire on it, and then I've got some bait units up here. These are my reinforcing like garrison units, and I'm going to just use them as Skaven bait for the moment. And dang, we got hit by those rattling guns and poison wind mortars there. It's a little bit frustrating. But yeah, I'm using those units for bait while I destroy the Plague Claw catapult, and I'm also absorbing poison wind mortar fire. I'm a little bit concerned about these brood horrors making their way up over here, but I'm also a little bit happy that they've separated themselves from some of their fire support. We're actually doing a really good job absorbing ammunition over here. So that is good news. Very good news. Oh my gosh, we nuked that brood horror. That was a one-shot. Wow. Rest in rat heaven. Okay. Oh, they're shooting at my gyros with that warp lightning cannon. They have really good long-range fire support here, folks. I'm gonna back up out of here. That brood horror should go down. There it goes. Oh. Yeah, we really want them to keep firing at our leaders and these kind of just bait units over here. Oh, crap. They're shooting at my artillery. All right, hold on. Let me pause it. We've got to target the artillery that's got us in range. And that is going to be that warp lightning cannon right there. The Skaven are kind of coming forward with the rest of their troops. We really don't want to push our infantry within range of those mortars if we can at all help it, because they will just completely and utterly annihilate our infantry. I really want those mortars trying to shoot my leaders and these kind of garbage units that I'm just throwing up here as bait. We got a really good hit on that warp lightning cannon right off the bat. Oh, that warp lightning cannon is going hard for artillery. And we are going hard on it there. So we did destroy 2 of its pieces. Let's go for the next one over. We're having good effect on the enemy artillery, but we are also being bum rushed by the Skaven, and that is going to be bad for us. If they can get in range of my artillery, they're going to cause a lot of damage. They're also bringing in rattling guns. So as much as I hate it, man, I wish I had a loose formation for dwarves. I don't. They haven't done any summons on me, surprisingly. So I think I'm going to actually take these Slayers. I'm going to run out here kind of to the right. I'm going to bring my Longbeards and run here to the middle. And I'm going to leave these Quarler Great Weapons back here to kind of guard the artillery pieces. And let's go ahead. Let's see if we can intercept some of these units here. I'm going to get after this Rattling Gun. And I'm going to go after these Hell Pit Abominations. Wow, that is why we don't want my infantry up here right now. The number of mortars is way too high. Let's see if I can intercept those units. All right, we did manage to intercept the Hell Pit Abominations, so they are not going to be easily dealt with. However, I forgot I do have the Tormentor Swords, so I can freeze those in position for a minute. I'm going to have to bypass a lot of the Skaven units and just make a beeline for their mortars, because we can't afford to sit and fight the Skaven while they... All right, sorry. I gotta slow this down, and we're gonna have to take inventory here. We do not want to get blobbed. Blobbing would be very, very bad. Our cannons are starting to take some big hits from the enemy artillery, but I now have the Warp Lightning cannons in range as well, so I think we're going to manage this battle very well. This is a concern. See, when we get stopped right here and they start dropping mortars on us, huge concern. We've got to keep the pressure on these weapon teams back here. I'm a little concerned about my leaders just going toe-to-toe with Hell Pit Abominations. But that's just a risk I'm going to have to take at the moment. We intercepted a couple more weapon teams, and the Skaven are losing their ability to fire back at us. It's not gone, but we have reduced it substantially. Oh, some Slayers got tagged into that fight. That actually works out well. And now I've got Slayers pressuring all their weapon teams back here, so these guys are toast at this point. They've been de-pantsed here. I'm gonna keep moving along. Like I said, we can't sit still. We've got to just keep taking the fight to them, which we have effectively done here. This went exactly the way I wanted it to go, which is surprising. The Skaven must be low on food or something, because they didn't have any summons here, which honestly surprises me. I'm gonna bring my Slayers over to get after that Master Assassin. They are still firing artillery at me despite the beating that my artillery has given them. Their artillery did very well, all things considered. I'm gonna actually, I don't know if I can catch all these weapon teams or not, but I'm gonna attempt to. The more of these weapon teams we kill here, the better. I'm gonna cease fire with my cannons. Their assassin's too fast, we're just not gonna catch them. So I'll instead kind of focus on trying to finish off these weapon teams that are very dangerous to us in every battle. So Skaven, though, are really quite fast. They are hard to catch. It says speed 20, but they must be faster whenever they're decoupled from that artillery, because even my Slayers are struggling to catch up with Poison Wind teams, which are kind of some of the only slow Skaven units that are out there. Awesome, we caught up to that Warp Lightning Cannon crew. Do some more damage to that crew. Okay, so we mauled that crew a little bit. And then those two Poison Wind Mortar teams got caught and destroyed as well. There we go. Good battle. All right, folks. Well, that was a success. I think I'm going to be done for this episode. I do hope you all enjoyed this one. I feel like we made some good progress. We killed Skaven, which is certainly our ultimate campaign objective right now. And we definitely sent some Skaven skitter fleeing into the next life. And I really want to finish this right here. I'm going to declare war on Tzeentch. It says their strength rank 9, but he doesn't have a whole lot of other settlements up here, I don't think. However, this is going to create an issue for my other settlements down here by Thorek, so we might need to take Thorek south and go finish up Tzeentch. But anyway, I'm going to declare this war and take that settlement because he's preventing me from owning what I need to finish our big grudge here. So we have now taken all of the dwarf lands. They have been reclaimed, and we have a legendary grudge removed, and we can now move through the dwarf underways. So that is going to be exciting, which means clan Moors can now be fought against with a lot of reinforcements, a whole lot easier. And there we go. So legendary grudge removed from the book, folks. Removed from the book. And I think that was the big legendary grudge we wanted to do here, though there is this one. It said destroy Clan Molder. Where's Clan Molder? I thought we destroyed them. Anyway, whatever. We'll see. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you all next time.